Good morning, brothers. It has been quite a while since I've had a chance to talk to you. And we're here in my favorite spot where I get to hide out of the wind while I've finished my workout. Anyways, what I've been up to for the past few weeks, I took on a role with the Odenton Temple Holding Corporation. As you all know, every good lodge building has a holding corporation to protect the lodge itself. So, I have had the opportunity to serve as the secretary for the OTHC, as we call it. And it's like with any chair in the line, it gives you like a new perspective on things, right? And so as secretary, I spent a lot of my time, during the meetings trying to, note down the ongoing, the meeting itself as it proceeds. So in doing so, I spent a lot of time listening and not as much time talking. And because of that, I think I've learned kind of a new appreciation on one of the teachings, right? And that teaching is plain dealing. The brothers at the meetings, we all have thoughts and ideas on how to improve things, and not a lot of time in order to do them. Right? I mean, we've been over a year without any income for the corporation itself, right? So like everyone else, we're struggling to figure out ways to generate revenue. And everyone has good ideas. Now, the ideas are all, they have varying levels of opportunity to succeed because of timing and environment. But good ideas nonetheless. And the passion behind those ideas are easily seen, right? Because the brothers have been, these are all brothers that care about the building, care about the temple, right? This is where they were raised, right? So it means a big deal. So anyways, that gets me into the conversation about plain dealing, right? And not only plain dealing, but assuming noble intent, right? So what I mean by plain dealing is not trying to sugarcoat things, or at least not communicating with one another in a way that you might communicate at work or somewhere else, right? With trying to maintain civility, but not hiding facts from each other. I mean, we all do this to a certain extent in our normal everyday lives, but it's different when you're talking to your brothers, right? You certainly don't want to insult anyone, but at the same time, you don't want to hide the facts from your brother, because if you can't tell the truth, no matter how bad the truth is or how difficult the truth is to accept to your brother, then who can he rely on? So that plain dealing comes across many different ways, right? It could come across as rude, right? Or insensitive, or it could come across dispassionate, right? Or it could come across too passionate. And that's the importance of knowing your brother, right? Assuming the noble intent, right? Assuming that your brother is not telling you this information to grandstand or hurt someone's feelings, but they're telling this information in order to make it, to make the truth be known, because it could be an emergency, right? So, with that kind of being said, The importance of plain dealing is specifically called out, right? Because not only is it necessary to speak straightforward without hiding facts, without without trying to make the bad seem not so bad, or the good seem better or not so good, right? The importance of plain dealing makes it so that we're all on the same page and that we can all start making sense of the situation. All right, so we can eventually end up in the right place, or the place that we want to be, where our actual goals exist right over the horizon. So, the other side of plain dealing, right? So, plain dealing, there's one side where you are the sender, right? You're trying to relay facts and figures and whatever to your brothers. On the other side is the brother receiving. And so we talked about briefly, assuming the noble intent, right? Now, there's a fourth side, right? And a third side. The third side being, as the sender, keeping in mind that how your words can be coming off, right? Using plain language, not trying to, show off your intellectual prowess, right? We all pride ourselves on being learned and, being seekers of the truth, because we're professionals in all aspects of life, right? But you might be a professional, lawyer, and I might be a professional bricklayer, and we both speak English, but we don't necessarily use the same words, right? So keeping in mind who your audience is, right? Speaking plainly so that all audiences, or at least everybody in that particular audience, can understand what you're talking about, right? Because every profession has its own language, English or otherwise. Now, the fourth side is you, the receiver, right? And not just assuming the noble intent, right? But now thinking about helping your brother communicate to you. So, what does that mean? When your brother uses a word or talks about a concept that you're not familiar with, pause the conversation. Let him know, hey, I don't know what that means, right? If it's like a business thing, right? I don't know, fill in the blank, right? I don't know some particular concept about business. Or I don't know timelines. I don't know the rules about that particular thing, right? Like, especially once you get into the holding corporation, there's a lot of conversations about, 501(c) status, or 501(c) status, excuse me, and what it means to be an LLC, and having a board, and the timelines for the taxes and the timelines for filing paperwork. If you don't know that, you have to talk about it. You have to say, hey, I don't know what that means. I don't know when this is. So being a good audience is all about, making some assumptions about the intent of the individual, providing you with your, with whatever it is, the information that you're receiving. And then, of course, helping them to give you the information. And then as the sender, of course, speaking plainly in a way that everyone can understand, recognizing when they're not. And then, of course, not trying to hide things, right? So, all that being said, I think it's an interesting position to be in, unlike any of the other, chairs in the lodge, but still similar, right? So, I think that this is a great opportunity for me. I'm learning a lot. And I recommend it, right? I recommend it to other people, other brothers, to join that part where you can work and see another part of each other, right? Because you're It's similar to the lodge because you have, you're working together with your brothers, but it's different in that you now have, often like we do, you now have several bodies that are dependent on you to do the right thing, right? So certainly selfishly you could say this is the place I was raised, so it matters to me. But this is the place that many brothers were raised and many organizations rely on, including your community. So it's an extra weight, right? And as I've read in books in the past, in order to make yourself become a better person, you have to pick up the heaviest thing that you can and try to carry it. So, that being said, I wish you a good day. And if you haven't seen behind me, or see through the window reflections there, it is another beautiful day here in my fair city of Odenton. I tell you, every time I come out here for these videos, it's cold. Like right now, I think I'm at 40 degrees, but it is beautiful. So with that, I leave you. Thanks for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Try not to keep you guys in the, hanging out without a video for too long. All right, brothers, have a good one. Thanks again.